you will have an opinion once you get.
Because I know he kind of did. He had like a come at me, bro moment where somebody.
Basically, he's saying, if you're in government, you have to be vaccinated. Any business that has over 100 employees, they're requiring you to be vaccinated.
Yep.
Instituted. So.
And that's the new law that kind of just got passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify, if you are a business owner and you have more than 100 employees, then you must mandate that all of your employees are vaccinated.
And that's federal, yeah.
And I believe it's a federal
Biden,
thing.
he did it.
He said it.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm guessing presidential, federal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the turnaround and the clapbacks are on this man's head. Like, Lil Duval put up a tweet this morning that said, "So how are we feeling about Biden now?" Like,
Right.
And I don't want to get on my go get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated soapbox. But I will say that it's very hypocritical to be able to change your mind and then not realize that other people can do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Or when they get new information, things change.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we get right back into trouble, something has to change drastically. And I don't like the feeling that we're giving off like, but you said, I know what I said, but that's not what I'm saying now.
Right.
Right? What I think is the most hilarious clapback is the conservative point. What happened to my body, my choice? That is the most fire clapback ever. They couldn't wait to use that one.
Right.
Because if you can't, they're doing this thing in Texas where they banned abortions.
Yeah.
Like pretty much outright. There's like you got to get raped on a
very
rainy day under a train by elves to have an abortion in
Under the
Texas.
train?
Like it's so many stipulations.
I mean, the elves is justifiable, but
You
under the
have to
train
be-
still, that's
You
have
turkey
to
sandwich.
be. You have to be very in tune and in touch with your body in order to get an abortion in Texas, because it's like literally you don't really even nothing happens to you until 3 weeks, and then you got like 2 weeks after that.
That's it. You got like 30 seconds. You got a Lucy episode. Like if you end up watching the credits, then that baby's yours.
the baby. I like how you just do that in there with that.
But so they're using that. Like, oh, you're downing us for this, my body, my choice, women's body, women's choice. But now you're making everybody that fits these parameters get the vaccination.
I mean, and when are they going to start fining people for not wearing a mask? Like, if you don't want to get, again, I know I said this last episode.
But it's kind of the same thing, though.
Yeah,
right?
Wear a mask. If you don't want to get vaccinated and then agree to sign a waiver to not go to the hospital, you're right. Your body, your choice, but then you got to be willing to accept the consequences of that. So at the very least, for those who are choosing to be responsible, they're choosing to be vaccinated. So at least respect that and wear a mask where you go.
My stance on this is the same that I actually feel about abortion. And so I am a person, I am a believer, I'm a minister. I will never condone somebody. I believe that life happens at conception. I believe life happens before conception. If I'm looking at it from a biblical standpoint.
The Bible said, before I was formed in my mother's womb.
That whole part. But from a realist and a lover of law and history, I do not believe that anything that happens to your personal body should be mandated by law. I don't. I know some anti-vaxxers. I was one of the first people in my squad, in my circle, that got vaccinated.
Right.
My very, very good friend, one of my absolute best friends, is a complete anti-vaxxer.
Really?
But what I dig about her is the fact that she is very well educated. And it's not Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, she has real valid points, and that's your choice, right? So this is how I feel about this. First of all, from a funny standpoint, I low-key had a moment this week where I was like, is it the mark of the beast? Because in a minute, you're not about to be able to do nothing.
You're not about to be able to do nothing.
I was like, is this what I had a moment, right?
Preachers and pastors and ministers and scholars.
Because this is why a lot of black people won't get it, because they think it's the mark of the beast.
And that's really what it's showing remnants of, right?
Yeah.
But It's not financial.
And it's not religious.
And it's not religious.
Yeah.
And it's not in your on your hand or your forehead.
Right.
It's still selfish to me because no one is thinking about, again, the stresses.
I do.
Doctors, nurses, and what they're going through.
You're right.
But we are a, what was the word? We are a vessel of contradiction.
We are.
And if it's happening to me, I care about it.
Yeah.
People don't take. A lot of people didn't take COVID serious until an uncle passed.
Until somebody died.
Or somebody got really, really sick. Like, oh, wait, it's real. So, because it is affecting a lot of people, mind you, but there are 9 billion people in the world, and those numbers are nowhere near 9 billion people catching it, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we are here now, and it's not affected me and my household, and I'm fine, and my neighbors are fine, and, you know, oh, my friend got it, and he was okay. It was just like the flu. I don't believe it the way that you believe it.
Yeah.
And we got to realize that we don't have the same experiences. No, it's not fair. No, it's not right. Yes, it's very ignorant, but that's why ignorant is a word, because people really do act off of not knowing.
Yeah. So this is what I think as an educator. We were the first, right? They told us a long time ago, before Biden did what he did, our school district was like, if you're not going to get it, then you are getting tested every week. They was tripping about that.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
Honestly, what I was saying and how I feel about all of this is that it's your right, it's your choice, but just know that you're getting your groceries delivered, your kids can't come to school, like you basically are kicked out of society until the pandemic is over.
And the vaccination,
and that's your choice,
doesn't stop you from getting COVID, though.
No,
it just protects you from the harshness of what it would cause for your body.
But but here's the thing, it's funny. I mean, it's not funny. This is figurative speech. But I've seen people on Facebook and people in healthcare. You know, in healthcare, you gotta be very careful what you post. But there's people who are just entitled and think I read and read. The next thing you know, the very same people now in the hospital saying, please, I should have been smart. You should have did this, and then they're dead. So my thing is, it's the same. I'm at a point where I can respect your opinion, but that's a conversation between you and whatever religion you believe in. But you die, you die. That's
he's definitely. I knew he was going to. I knew he was going Russian boxer.
Right.
If he dies, he dies.
Like I said, it's just the back. That's
a harsh way of thinking.
But yeah, but look at all the deaths.
I agree.
But also people are doing it because the people who are next to them and closest to them are miseducated. They don't know. People don't know. Like let's say you read all the books and read all of the medical reports, and then you still choose not to do it. Okay, well then that's you.
Fine, but at the very least, wear a flipping French toast mask.
They make flipping French toast masks?
Yes, it's a new brand. Shout out
you
to
gonna eat the mask?
Kevin Samuels.
Don't
overtalk me.
Yo,
that was one of his things.
I know. I don't watch him.
You don't watch Kevin Samuels?
I don't.
That's a whole other episode on Kevin.
And we gonna get into it one day.
My guy. But anyway, then
he be caping for Kevin Samuels.
I be watching his videos. He's funny. He says some real stuff. Now some things I disagree with.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next week.
You can unmute yourself. But now back to the vaccinated. All I'm saying is, at the very least, if you don't want to do it, if you think it's because you're right, I'll say that not everyone has the pleasure of either having a family member or a close friend that's in healthcare that can really give you that perspective.
Sometimes you're blessed in other ways that other people aren't.
Understood. So if you fall under that category, at the very least, please wear a mask wherever you go. Be respectful to others, because believe it or not, whether you believe or not, your choice could kill innocent human beings. And if you can sleep good at night knowing that you were the cause of this, then that's your bag. Like I said, that's a combo between you and the higher power, whatever you believe in. That's on you.
I just wish we as Americans, or just as the world, didn't realize that there's a battle and there's a war. And we just won a few battles, and we acted like the war was over.
Yeah.
So that's why, if you're vaccinated, take your mask off, and you can go out, and people flying.
We did lose it,
all these
didn't
different
we?
places. Yeah. There are new countries every day getting on a banned travel list.
Right.
And they don't talk about that. I want to get back to the point about Biden, but there are new countries being added every day to the banned travel list that you cannot go now because, I think West Africa, Georgia, not the state, but the country. There was a couple other ones that I don't remember. I'll put a list of them up right now that you cannot go to because their numbers are too high, or they're getting out of control because they don't have as much of the vaccine, or their leaders are very radical and they don't care so much about mandating people to do certain things. I want to talk back about Biden. Is he wrong for doing that? Is he wrong for maybe having some insight, talking to probably some of the most smartest people in the world on this subject, and saying now, okay, another way that we can try to stop this thing is that if you, by just some chance, have done well enough in your life to being able to hire 100 people, make sure that they're all vaccinated. Is he wrong for that?
The reason why and it's tough because I understand both sides, but in the meantime, while we're having the disagreement and going back and forth, the variant is evolving and becoming more dangerous, and it's getting to a point, the new variants.
Yeah, I mean, we had Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, I don't know where we at.
Right. So that's the concern. Why we keep having the back and forth, the variant is evolving and becoming more dangerous. Like, as I mentioned before, there's a new variant, MU. I don't know if you do your research, but that people who are fully vaccinated are not fully protected against that new variant. So why we keep doing this, whether it's fair, not fair, right or wrong, it's continuing to evolve and it's continuing to kill people in the meantime. So I get that, and I understand what you're saying, my body, my choice, but everythh comes with a price.
Absolutely.
Right, so is Biden wrong for doing
that?
Well,
Biden is trying to. I mean, I think it's a tough situation when you see the amount of deaths that have been affected by COVID over the past year and the things we had to go through. Sometimes you got to make a tough decision. So
I, as a parent, as a person who is in charge of other people, as a leader, he's doing what a leader does.
Right.
Anybody who has kids knows that sometimes you have to put stuff in place. That the kids are gonna buck up against and gonna say this not fair.
And that is the point right there that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Right? If he is speaking and talking and getting intelligence from some of the people who are working on this every day, then you listen to that person.
Yeah.
I am actually one for not having all the freedoms in the world.
I agree.
It's a funny song. It was a funny movie, but they made an amazing point. It was Team America, World Police. Freedom isn't free. It isn't free. If you want the ability to be able to do the things that you want, salvation is free to get, but it's not free to keep. You have to say no to some things. You have to die to some things. You have to restrict some things out of your life. And if you want good, sometimes you have to sacrifice for it.
Absolutely.
And if you have to sacrifice going out, not going to a party, we all had to sacrifice hugging grandma and grandpa. We have to sacrifice all of these different things. Sometimes you have to do these things because if you want this, you have to give up that. You cannot have it all. And right now, we are trying to have it all. And it sucks because I don't see an end to this. I'm very tired of these masks. But will I wear it to protect my family and my loved ones? Absolutely. But I'm tired of this mask. I'm tired of it because, like you said, I got asthma.
Child.
I don't got time.
She said, child.
Y'all don't know. Like, understand that. Listen, Hunty. Hunty.
We still bring that up. Okay.
Trying to breathe in your own carbon dioxide and be
can't have it all, man.
And your lungs are like, and it's hot in here in Vegas, which triggers
so
asthma. It's real, but it's like, do I want to struggle until I get in my car, or do I want to struggle and be on a ventilator? I chose the latter. Like,
I know you chose the former.
The former.
Yeah.
You're right. I chose the former because I ran and got my shot. Like, I need to breathe and I need to live.
You can't have it all, and I do realize that sometimes you have to give up something. You have to sacrifice things for others.
But even with the restrictions, we still have it better here in America than in other countries. So why?
Yeah, because they don't have enough vaccine.
Stop acting spoiled.
And that's it. That we are acting spoiled in a lot of different ways. Some countries don't have the proper testing equipment.
Yeah.
Some countries don't have ventilators or beds. You think we struggling on ventilators or beds, or what do you think those doctors over there are doing?
Y'all don't know how good you have it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some of y'all are not gonna learn until everything is taken away, and then what? I'm telling you, be appreciative.
And we're moving in that direction. If this thing continues to get worse and worse and worse. I don't know what letter we on. You said MU, and I think that's not even an actual M, an American M. It's whatever.
Mu.
Whatever it is, however,
yeah,
if this thing continues to evolve and it decides that it may want to get worse, or our ignorance is going to continue to have this thing elevate, it is going to get scary, people.
Yep.
And what I don't want is for us to look back and be like, I guess I could have just wore the mask. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Duh. Or I get, man, you know what? The person who took the vaccine, they seem to be fine. When those numbers come back out again and you say, okay, all of the vaccinated people are passing at this rate, and then the unvaccinated people are passing at this rate, because we had a talk here that was shot here at 9 in Studios, and those clips are out there. There's some great doctors and medical professions who are answering the hard questions. And yes, people perish, but because they have all kinds of different things. People passed anyway. People were passing before COVID, right? So we can't blame everything for COVID. Don't be one of those people who be like, my uncle passed and what's your name, and they said it was COVID. But then because somebody passed away, you say, oh, that was COVID. No, people pass away for a lot of different things. So I don't know. Get information. Just stay safe. Stay out my face.
Dad.
Stay out my face.
Stay home. Get you some Uber Eats.
Mask up. Stop complaining. On a real side note, I saw this video. I'm gonna leave the broad's name off here, but she went to like 12 businesses and they had a mask mandate and like took pictures and put like the middle finger up to all the business because they wouldn't let her in. Like, stop with that BS, man. Like, grow up. Like I said, you don't have to like it. Just at the very least, wear a mask if you want. That's
Protect
fine.
yourself,
But when you're doing all that ignorant stuff, man, I just unfriend.
Don't let personal liberties override your common sense. Like, and I think that's just where we are. We're so caught up in politics right now, still in this country, that we're so wanting to be right. We're cutting our noses off to spite our face. Like, it's just a situation where we just want to be right. We don't want to be safe.
I prefer being safe.
I don't have that many employees, but all my employees is vaccinated. I got one that's about to get vaccinated.
Cool.
But
cool.
I don't know if we can say it enough to everybody who is dealing with COVID or dealing with the health in medical workers, doctors, people on the front line, the people who are on ventilators, the families who have to deal with the harsh reality that you can't see or hug or hold your loved one. Our hearts go out to you. It's not easy. It is very, very tough, and I can only imagine because I haven't personally been through it. But I don't need to learn from my mistakes. I'm willing and wise enough to learn from y'all's, and you're not gonna put me in that box.
Yeah.
Nope. Period.
Yep.
And that's on period.
Period.
I thought you were say like on Paru, so I know where you.
And that's on.
No, you don't do all that. I didn't know.
Cause
she said it was on this. So I watch a lot of battle rap, so you know
Hey, cool.
Shout out to Twerk. New Jersey Twerk. Let me say the whole name for those who don't watch battle rap.